Okay, good morning, White Plains. We're here at Highlands Middle School, and I am surrounded by some really special students and teachers that are part of, and administrators, that are part of our mentoring program here at Highlands. And this has been a program that's sort of been a brainchild of yours for a little while and kind of came about, if I understand it correctly, organically, right?
Yeah, it evolved. So we started last year trying to run a mentoring program, and we caught some bumps in the road. But we had, at the end of last year, me and 3 other teachers went to a training in New York City to learn how to run a successful mentoring program. And that kind of was the kickoff to our mentoring program. And we learned some really valuable suggestions of how to run a correct mentoring program.
So what was the takeaway from that training? What is like the most important thing you can think of when you're trying to build a program like this?
Most important thing is follow through, is having your staff that's going to follow through with the students and having students that want to follow through. And it was also very important to make sure that the students wanted to be part of it and that the staff wanted to be part of it, and we weren't just forcing anyone. So all these students here were asked to be in the program, and they all wanted to be in the program, and I think that's what's made our program successful so far.
That's great. So, and for the faculty members, for the teachers, how's it been so far in terms of getting up and moving?
I think it was a slow start, but now I think we really are doing a great job. I've gotten to form relationships with a lot of different students that I don't normally get to work with, and it's been really fun getting to know everyone. That's
great. Coach Seti, you generally have a lot of different experiences with students. You see a lot of students in phys ed. How is this a little bit different than the normal positive relationships that you build with your kids?
So when I was thinking about mentoring, I was thinking about like coaching and being in a group, someplace where we all come together because we have something common in interest. Well, it's kind of the same thing, except it's more like a family. Yeah. And we come together, and all I did was open my door, and I have people in the gym. We have people for breakfast and for lunch, and you just build all sorts of new relationships. And it's not just, a family of volleyball players, of basketball players. It's a Highlands family of kids who just want to be supported.
That's great. And really, like, don't we all want to be supported? I think when we think back to middle school, I know I probably seem ancient to you guys. But I think most of us, when we think back to middle school, we recognize that that's a time in our lives developmentally where we are looking for additional supports, and we are learning how to ask for help. It's not always easy. I know a lot of adults who still have a hard time asking for help and supporting each other in positive ways. But one of the things we're really proud of in White Plains is that there are a lot of opportunities for students to come together to support each other and to form positive relationships with faculty and staff members. How are you feeling about the program and how your experience has been so far? Is it easy to sometimes think this is going to be too hard for me?
Yeah, because I kind of struggle in school. So when I go, it's like we do activities, and we talk about ways to strategies, to build strategies, and it helps me.
That's great. That's really great. I think working together is something that is really important. It's so funny in school. A lot of times we'll say to students, "Okay, do this on your own," but in reality, when you get a job, the first thing we say is, "Okay, do this together. Figure out a way to do this together." So sometimes that's a little bit of a disadvantage, but that's great that you're gaining that experience. What else? What other positive aspects to the program have you guys experienced?
Sometimes I would be struggling on things, and I would always go to my mentor, and I would ask her for stuff, and she would always help me. Because if I was in this program, I would been struggling even more if I did not have my mentor right now.
As a faculty member, you're kind of already in a position where in a lot of ways you could be a mentor to students, but you're taking that extra step now to actually move beyond teacher to teacher and mentor. Why do that?
I find that my students that I mentor, we have a connection where they'll make fun of me, they'll joke around about me, like my addiction to Amazon, and they'll say, "Ms. V, don't go shopping,"
Is there a lot of shopping that goes on?
Yes. And I think it's helpful to make us look real and to be real, and so that we're not just teachers and we only just teach math. We're human. We have our flaws.
Absolutely.
We bond because we have shared experiences, even though there's a small age difference, not a huge one. We have a lot of things in common, and I can learn from my mentees, and they can learn from me, and we become like that family, like the coach was saying, we become family. And they know things about me that my regular students wouldn't always know about me, because we can talk and we can and problem solve together, and I can show them a little more that I care, and I care about their future. And and sometimes they don't get that when they're like between bells from class to class to class. Although their teachers all care, you don't get that individual kind of love and attention, where the mentoring program gives you that. It gives you some extra time.
Right, I think that is like perfectly summed up. And when I think back to those points in time for all of us growing up, having that critical connection to an adult and realizing that you're human too, I'm human too, good days, bad days, imperfect, we don't expect you to be perfect. Having that mutual respect for each other, I think, goes a long way. I mean, for you as students, when you realize that you can talk with your teachers and talk with your mentors about challenges that you're experiencing and maybe just kind of getting it out, does that help you move through some of the challenges that you see on a day-to-day basis? It does.
I also think it's important as a member of this community. I've been in White Plains my whole life, and going back when I was at Highlands, when I was at Eastview, missing that mentor. Like, I think about it. If I had a mentor in my life could have been a lot different back in those days. So I wanted to bring it to our community as a whole, to make sure that these kids have somebody that they can look up to, go to, learn about, learn from. And I think that's really what this mentoring program is about. It's just having an adult or anyone in the building that you can go to at any time, and they're there to listen to you, even if they don't talk and they just listen. So that's really what our goal is to build these relationships and build a safe space for students that need time to relax and need time to just talk to somebody that's real to them. So it's really important to me as a member of this community to try to bring something to this community and continue to make it grow.
And just to piggyback on that, when I'm sitting in my office, I normally leave my door open when I'm there. And when my door is open, Mr. Eaton will attest to this, Ms. Lembo, as soon as my door opens, it's a revolving door. Who's coming through, who stopped at the nurse because they weren't feeling well and just stopped in to say hello, or to talk about some things to get off their chest because they had a stomach ache, not because they're sick, but because something's wrong. Or, had gotten into a verbal altercation with somebody in the morning and had to come listen to 90s R&B just to chill out for a while, maybe share what they had written, for a class. And it's just a place that kids could let things off their chests, almost like, a brief therapy session, so they can get on with their day, say what they need to say, and move on, because we take for granted that, they know how to talk to adults all the time, and they don't always know how to talk to adults. And so they come and they talk to an adult who they think is like a kid, and then they move on and they can talk to Mr. Eaton like he's an administrator, and Mr. Spatafor like they're an administrator, and they say what they need to say to me, but then they go off and give the modified version of what they need to say to the rest of their teachers who may not hear them the same way.
Sometimes I can't really focus, I get distracted, so I use Ms. Varghese, and we just go to a room and talk, and just a moment for me to relax, get back on track, and then I'm ready to go back to class.
Everybody has that moment, and we all have to figure out a positive way to move through it. And one of the best things that you're doing, and really mature, is recognizing how you feel when you feel it, and not letting emotion guide you, but you guide your emotion. I know a lot of adults who can't do that yet. So you should feel really great about that, and certainly about Ms. Varghese for being there. I think that Highlands is doing really amazing things. The faculty and staff members, the administrators, the students, doing really amazing things to try and create a middle school environment that's as positive and welcoming and supportive as we can. We're trying to do it all throughout the White Plains City School District. We always joke that we're a big district, but we're really kind of like a small town. In the sense that we want every one of our 7,000 plus children, students, to know that the adults who are here for them. Like, that's why we come here every day. So some days where you get angry or you say, I can't believe, Mr. Eaton's doing that. You just remember that when we get up and when we leave our houses or our apartments and get into our cars to come here, it's because we want to make your day as good as we possibly can, not as hard as we possibly can. And I'm just so proud of all of you, and certainly, thank you to our faculty and staff members and everybody at Highlands for working on this program. I hope this program explodes. I hope that there are students who watch this and say, I've got to figure out how to get into this. Or I wonder if we can start this up at our school. And I will tell you that at the high school there are opportunities like this in existence, and they're coming, more and more. It seems like every day. So it really is fantastic, and you should feel great about it. And thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
I think all of the mentors do a really good job creating that safe space where students can go to if they're having a problem or if they need to talk. But I think the mentees also really enjoy celebrating with their mentors their accomplishments, or when they do something good, like having like a cheerleader in their corner to help them make improvements.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I might join the program and come talk to you folks.
Mr. Eaton makes a mean turkey.
I do.
Yeah.
I do make a mean turkey.
Dinner this year.
We did.
And I think that was really a good start for everyone. Yeah, we broke bread together, and it was an amazing
Was that sort of like a
start.
kickoff to
Yeah.
get together?
Well, for this
and-
year it was.
Right.
Yeah, we were trying to make a big deal out of it.
That's a
And
great idea.
The more we talk about it and the more trips we go on, the more I do hear, so how do I get into that program? When is Mr. Eaton allowing more students in? And I think that's going to be in the near future.
So we actually are in the process right now of getting more students involved and teachers involved. I sent out an email yesterday. We have more teachers that now want to be involved as they're seeing the program grow. They want to be part of it as well. And same with students. I get students at my door every single day. When can I get in the program? So we're going to open the door. It's got to be the right way to do it. You can't just let them in all the time. So we're going to try to do it at the beginning of every quarter and get some more kids in and continue to grow it. We're at about 45 students right now, and by the end of the year we hope to be around 75 students for the first year. I think that's a great accomplishment.
I think it's great. I'm over 1,000 students in the building, and I would say that the goal would probably be for every one of those students to feel like they have a mentor that's in some level, an adult that's trusted, that they could seek out, not only to talk about challenges but also to celebrate accomplishments, right? No matter how big or small.
How has coming to the after-school activities kind of excelled your social behaviors with your peers?
Well, we got to meet new people, and because of the activities, we got to bond together. So that was, I think, it was a bit out of my comfort zone because I'm usually very shy and quiet, but it was so much fun, and I really enjoyed getting to meet new people and talking to them.
Good for you. Great.
It's a lot of diversity in the group, right? It's not just catered to one type of student. And I think that, at least for me, I was a high achieving student, but I was so shy, similar to you. And having a mentor when I was younger would have been so beneficial to me. So seeing it done for the kids in our school just really makes me happy.
That's great. It's nice when we, as teachers, a couple of years different, think about our past and what would have been helpful to us, and then try and bring that to you. And then hopefully, as you get older, maybe some of you will become teachers, but regardless, whatever it is that you do, you'll think about your experiences and then try to enrich other people's lives in those ways too. I think you've gotten a good taste of what the mentoring experience is like here at Highlands, and what Mr. Eaton and our faculty and staff members are attempting to create here with our students. And it really does reflect the family dynamic that we hope to be able to continue to replicate, to make sure that every student who we serve feels like they have a trusted adult that they can work with and speak with, and that they know is supporting of them. So again, congratulations. Thanks for having us here, and thanks for sharing some of your insights into how your experiences have been. I know that when other students and when other parents and guardians see this, they're going to say, oh, this is going to be perfect for my child, or oh, this will be great for me. So you're doing a great service for our community. Thanks very much.